Hello, today I'll show you how to make a memory match game in Scratch. As you can see, if I start the game, it'll create a nice starting effect. And if I hover over these, it'll have a nice effect as well. And if you click on it, it will show card. Click on it again, it will show the other card. And if it doesn't match, it will flip over. And if I try to get a correct one, like this, then it will stay. And if I finish the game, and then it'll have a nice finishing effect. So let's get started. First, don't delete the cat and paint a sprite. Name it cards. Now, use the box tool. Make sure there is no outline and make the fill the color of the scratch cat and then delete it. Now back in here, create a rectangle, something like this. Then make it a good size, like this. Now with this, make the size, or actually the corners, round by using the reshape tool. Then click near the edges to make it smooth. Like this. After that, delete the corners. And now you have a nice smooth rectangle, like this. Now, make the fill slightly darker. Then click in here, letters. Then find Glow S. Wait for it to load in. Now copy it and then pastel it into here. Make it a good size and then make this back part the normal color of the scratch cat. So then there will be the scratch logo. Now rename this to back, then paint a new costume. Actually, don't paint a new costume. Duplicate back, delete the scratch logo, leave the card, and make this a nice gray color. Then copy it, delete it. Then you can upload anything for your card or choose from the scratch costume. And then you can add any costume like banana. Now make sure to group all of them, then pastel the card, make it go to back, and then resize the banana or the image you have. And do this until you have 9 different cards, and make sure that there will be 10 costumes. After you're done, you should have 10 costumes in total, as you can see. Now, in the code, when green flag is clicked, hide, then set size to 110. Now, go to negative 187 and 100. Then, after that, go to My Blocks, create a block named Create Cards. then add an input called starting X, then horizontal, and lastly vertical. Then run without screen refresh. Now, in the first slot, put in X position. Second slot, put 6, and third slot, 3. And since we have 9 different options, 3 times 6 would be 18, and since it's a matching game, we only need 9, since 9 times 2 would be 18. Anyways, back in here, switch costume to back, create a new variable named total cards for all sprites. Set total cards to horizontal times vertical. Then create another new variable named ID for this sprite only. Set ID to 1, then repeat vertical, then set X to starting X, another repeat, this time horizontal, then create a clone of myself, change X by 75, and also change ID by 1. Also, you can change this one by how large your cards are. Now, down here, change Y by -100. Now if you test, also when green flag is clicked, show. Now if you test, as you can see, it'll create all 18 cards. And if you want, you can adjust the size. Actually, you don't need to adjust the size, since original size would look perfect like that. Now, after this, back in when I start as a clone, put in create a new variable named flip status for this sprite only. Set flip status to 0, which is flipped to the back. Then a if else, actually not if else, a forever, then if else, then touching mouse pointer, then a change size by, a divide, and a subtract. Now, in the middle of this will be size. This will be the size you want. Default will be 100, and then divided by 4 for a pretty good speed. Duplicate this, and if touching mouse pointer, change this to 110, and make this 3 for a faster, smooth transition. Then as you can see, when you start, it'll have a nice effect. And if you select the cards, it will also have a nice effect. Now for the brightness, for this, set brightness to 1 subtracted by 100 divided by size, and then times 100, like this. Now if you test it, as you can see, if you hover over it, then the brightness will slightly be brighter. Now, after this, go back into the create cards block, and in here, create two new lists named first half for all sprites and the second half also for all sprites. Now, delete all of first half and then repeat until then equals, and then length of first half equals total cards divided by 2. And you should probably move the total cards variable to the top of this and put this to the side. Then, when you have this, create a new variable named random for all sprites. Set random to pick random 1, 2, total cards divided by 2. Then if not first half contains random, then add random to first half. This will generate a list with no repeating numbers. Then duplicate all of this. This time change this to second half, and just to double check, make sure all of them say second half for this part, while the first part says first half. Now if you show the list and run the game, as you can see, there will be no repeating numbers, and same with second half. Now with this, we can assign the card for the cards. Now, create another new variable named card for this sprite only. Before set card, if, and then if ID is greater than total cards divided by 2, then set card to item ID subtracted by total cards divided by 2, like this. And make that the second half, duplicate it, and then for the first half, just do item ID of first half, like that. Now, back in here, do if else, then flip status, if else, flip status equals 0, then switch costume to back, and make sure the if touching mouse pointer is in if status equals 0. Now in the else, in here, duplicate the change size by 10 subtracted by size divided by 4, then switch costume to card +1. +1 because back is in the first and the rest is the selections or types. Now, back in here, do another if, mouse down, wait until not mouse down, then set flip status to 1, create a new variable named game status for all sprites, then a if else game status equals 0, set first selected, which is a variable we need to create called first selected for all sprites, and then second selected also for all sprites. Now, set first selected to card, and also set game status to 1, else duplicate this, remove that, set second selected to card, like that. Now, also, never mind, now if you test and click, as you can see, it will create a nice flip, well not really flip, but reveal effect, like this. Now, in here, in second selected to card, create a new variable or broadcast a new message called check. Now when I receive check, in here, set game status to 3, which is kind of pausing everything, and then if, put in a and then a or on the left, then do card equals first selected, or cards equals second selected, and flip status equals 1. Now, in here, set game status to 1, or actually 0, then a if else, if first selected equals second selected, which means it got the right match, then set flip status to 1, change size by 10, and then create a new variable named number matched for all sprites. Set number matched, or actually change number matched to 1. Change number matched by 1. Else, set flip status to 0, and change size by -10. Now, back up here, do another if, and in this if, place it around if mouse down, and then do if not game status equals 3. So make the change size by 110, subtracted by size divided by 3, and make it here, like that. So add in a wait 1 second here. Now if you test it, as you can see, if you don't get the correct one, then it will change. back. But if you do, then it will stay like that. Now, the only thing we need to do now is back in check if, then a equal, if total cards equals number matched, then broadcast new message finished or finish. Now, when I receive finish or finish, then change size by 10, stop other scripts in Sprite, then forever duplicate this block, place it down there, and same with duplicating the brightness block. And drag it all the way down here. And lastly, when green flag is clicked, set game status to 0 and set number matched to 0. And now, when green flag is now let's test. As you can see, if I click on a card, it will stay. Click on it again, I got the right one, and then you can't select it again. And you can do it to any tiles, and it's always randomized, as you can see. Now you have a nice matching game in Scratch. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day.